the art. Now you hear a lot of people will get really all this blown out of proportion on art thing, and it's like, oh, it's marvelous, it's wonderful. This defines the existence of the individual outside of the world. Shut up, okay? If it looks cool, alright? And that's what people care about. In Pan's Labyrinth, everything feels so real and so organic. The art direction in this is amazing. If anybody has seen Hellboy 2, you'll know what I'm talking about. In that movie, you see incredible character design and creature design, and just the way sets are built and everything else like that. This movie set that groundwork. Del Toro's vision in this is undeniably amazing. Everything in here feels real. And that's very important, because you can have movies where you have a lot of interesting looking characters and things like that, but if they don't look real, if they don't feel real, who's gonna care? And you see this all the time in computer generated character movies. Every Jar Jar Binks, every alien in your attic, all these characters are lacking something, and it's called organic weight. It's something that real things have. Everything has weight. I have weight. The camera I'm filming this with has weight. The computer you're watching it at home, on the road, or driving if you're unsafe and reckless, it all has weight. Things in the real world have weight. Computer-generated characters don't. I'm not sure why. I don't know what causes that. There's only so much disbelief that you can suspend. Your audience is going to get smart, and your audience is going to stop caring about the character eventually after so long, because they realize that they're just a series of ones and zeros. Pan's Labyrinth takes a wonderful return to the day of the man in the suit. Thank you God, somebody is using practical effects again. It is incredible. If anybody has seen the original Alien, you'll know why I defend men in suits over ones and zeros any day of the week. Every creature in this film has its own personality, has its own feeling, has its own emotional capabilities, and it is reflected in the design of the character itself. The work done in this is seamless in terms of makeup design and costume design and how everything is incorporated with one another. And what's really good is that this movie actually does bridge that gap between practical and computer effects. Every creature has some sort of computer-generated aspect to them, whether it be removing certain human limbs for the sake of the character, or whether it be adding certain elements and things like that. But no matter how it's done, it's all seamless, and it looks absolutely incredible, and it's extremely impressive, and I can't praise it enough. Oh, and just as a side note, if any of you got offended when I said the thing about Jar Jar Binks or the aliens in the attic guy, whatever that stupid little bald-headed looking thing is, turn off this video, get off the page. You don't belong here, okay? Just flat out. What the? Huh. Interesting, I just lost half my subscribers. Anyway, so in case you can't tell, I am in love with this movie, okay? Everybody says, well, if you love it so much, why don't you just marry it? I would. Please, see this film, because it is incredible. Never before have I seen art and story combined together so well that they create this incredible experience, and it really is an experience. This isn't just something to watch, this is something to live. This is something to become a part of, and you will become a part of it. And here's why. This movie covers this topic that I think is very basic for all of us, the idea of growing up. Oh, I just hear, no, you can't have mac and cheese anymore. You have to have a salmon fillet on a bed of rice served with a side of white sauce that nobody can identify. And you have to pay a whole lot more for that crappy food that no one even wants to eat anyway. What this film does is that it helps move that idea of not necessarily having to grow up to mature with your ideas. And again, that's further illustrated by just how well the two worlds intermingle with one another, and how much the events that take place in both worlds are almost congruent to one another in terms of how dark, evil, dangerous, and ferocious they may be. So see it, please, enjoy every second of it, because I know I did. And there are a few movies that leave me speechless while I'm in the movie theater, and there are fewer movies that become a favorite of mine the second the credits start to roll. This one is on my list. And something that I've never done in any of my other reviews, I will easily give this movie title of one of the greatest films of all time. And I don't say that lightly. Now, I will make a side note about this movie. It is in Spanish, which means you do have to read subtitles. What the? Well, there goes the other half of my subscribers. Let me make something very clear. Reading subtitles is not a big deal. In fact, it's very easy, because we all learned how to read subtitles back in grade school, didn't we? I mean, you know how to read, you know how to write, I would hope. As long as you can say, see Jane run, run Jane run, I think you can probably get through an actual hour-and-a-half long film. Believe me, it's not as difficult as it looks, okay? There's a lot of people who I hear complain about the idea of, well, I can't concentrate on the movie if I have to read the whole thing. Okay, yes you can. If it really takes you that much effort to read something very quickly while seeing the action happening on the screen, you really need to work on your multitasking. Let me ask you this question. Do you drive? Do you? Do you drive? Do you drive? If you drive, I'm sure that you see road signs all the time, okay? Exit 33 coming up, speed limit 55 miles per hour, men at work, other jobless 80s bands. Do you have to read these signs while you're driving? Do you? Is there not a lot of action going on in front of you while you're reading? Is there? There is. Okay, and unless you're going around crashing into every possible lamppost that you find when you have to read a sign that says, ironically enough, stop, then you need to get away from the wheel of a vehicle and start enjoying the public transit system. Sure, it's a lot slower, and sure you have to pay for it every time you use it, but you know what? At least you won't be killing people on your way to work. So believe me, okay, it's not that difficult. Please, I implore you. Get over subtitleophobia, because it will ruin your life. You will miss out on so many great things, especially anything from the foreign markets. Well, I guess anything from the foreign markets. I mean, either that or watching Conan the Barbarian on Telemundo, where they've not only given Arnold another voice, but now you have to read what he's trying to say.